Hey guys, Channer here again. What's up, what's up? Alright, so today we're going to be going over trials. But before we start the video, me and Shinobi just made a video on Barbarian and what's going on with Barbarian for Season 2. So if you guys want to go check out his channel and that video, I'll put a link right up here. I'll leave it in the description below if you want to check it out after you watch this video. Whatever you guys want. But yeah, so this video we're going to be talking about trials. As you guys know, I play the Barbarian. I cover the Barbarian class mainly. The thing is, for trials on my solo Barbarian, I might be able to get like a 47 key with my Barbarian who could potentially clear mid 50s. So I gotta find special ways to get keys, because as you guys know, you can't just take a key and then level one by one go from 45 to 46 to 47 to 48 all the way up to whatever you're trying to clear. It just doesn't work like that, because there's a lot of factors of RNG, and to even get a clearable rift, to even have a chance to clear a rift, it could be 1 in 10, it could be 1 in 50, it could be 1 in hundreds of actually getting that clearable rift, because you know, maybe you're trying to push 50 plus, you need Stone Singer as a boss or Saxtress. So if you go through and you get Rhyme, then, well, GG. Well, maybe, yeah, you can kill him, but you're not gonna really do it in that 15-minute timer. So this is what I do. Alright, so first off, I hop on my Crusader, and don't get worried, because this Crusader is very, very easy to gear. Most of the gear is crafted, and the items that need to be found are somewhat common legendaries. So what we're looking at here is a Zdps Crusader, and we're going to use this Zdps Crusader in a group with, say, 2 Demon Hunters and a Zdps Witch Doctor, which is also the group meta for higher end group greater if pushing. If you were trying to do 4-man or something, you would use a group like this. But it's also good for trials. I have some clips, I'll show them to you guys in a second, but let's go over the gear here for a second. So as you can see, I have some Asheras. This is just actually let me explain what ZDPS is, because I'm sure that's maybe not too common a phrase. Alright, so ZDPS stands for 0 DPS, or 0 damage per second. This class doesn't do any damage. It's mainly there for support. So what your role is going to be is to buff your group's damage. So the Demon Hunters in your group, you're going to be giving them extra damage through a few of your skills, and you're also going to be up front taking damage, controlling mobs, pulling everything, grouping it together, making everything a lot easier for the damage Demon Hunters in your group, or the damage classes, whoever is playing that role. Alright, so we are going to start off with the Royal Ring, of course. As you can see, we're using that Royal Ring, and then we're going to go for 3 sets. 2-piece Asharas, 2-piece Borns. Now, Borns and 2-piece Crimson. Of course, you're going to get the 3-piece bonus for all of them. But Borns and Crimson both give cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction is pretty important. As you can see over here, I have like 73. Don't worry, you don't need that much. You only need, what was it, like 57.5? I'm not sure the exact number, but that's the amount of cooldown reduction you need to have Perma Akrach Champion, which is going to be pretty important. Alright, so we're going to be using a Leoric's Crown, of course, and like I said, you know, the stats you're seeing on this gear, this is purely for defense. So things like strength, giving you armor, vitality, HP obviously, resistance, or just armor stat, whatever you could get in that area. We're going to be using strong arm bracers, so enemies hit by knockbacks take 30% more damage. The stats on the strong arms don't really matter too much, the element, whatever. As you can see, I completely rolled it off. But getting as close to that 30% more damage as possible is going to be really good, because you're going to be using Condemn, which pulls mobs, which is going to activate that. So really, really good stuff. We're going to be using mainly what's important is Bane of the Trapped and Gem of Officious Toxin. Okay. So Bane of the Trapped is actually used because it gives you an aura, a slow aura, or a movement speed reduction, which helps the demon hunters with one of their passives. All right. Swiftness gem for a little more cooldown. Cooldown is great here. You love cooldown. We're also using illusory boots, or however you pronounce it. These come from Act 2 bounty cash bags, so you can farm them pretty easily. Just allows you to move through mobs, makes things a lot easier for you. Now remember, this is the trial variation of this build. You might want to change a few things if you're taking this build into greater rifts, but we're just going to talk about trials for now. Of course, Born's Weapon, great, because you know Born's Weapon with, you know, with the chest, you get the 2-piece. You could always take out the sharers, and you could use other things. So, like, you could have the cooldown belt, or a vigilante belt, you know, other things. You could, but I like the sharers, a little more defense. It helps. What's really important here is this one shield. This is one thing you're kind of have to find, but it's a pretty common shield. You could farm on your normal main and then just take your blood shards, pop a few shields on your Crusader through Kadala, and shouldn't be too hard. So, Final Witness, shield glare now hits all enemies around you. So, without this shield, shield glare is just a frontal cone. I actually need to be wearing a shield to use it. Okay, so as you can see, there's just that frontal cone. And what this does is it blinds enemies for 4 seconds, and blinded enemies take 20% more damage. This is one of the areas where you're going to help your group do more damage. Now with Final Witness, it gives it a 360. Boom. It's awesome. So you're going to be using your Condemn, and that's going to be sucking things in on top of you, and then you're going to be popping that and blinding them. You're going to be using Laws of Valor to increase your group's attack speed and critical hit damage by 100%, which is great. You're going to have everything up, like Perma. Judgment over here. Damage dealt to judged enemies has a 20% increased chance to be critically hit. So that's great. But yeah, that's about it for the gear. Oh yeah, Overwhelming Desire, an Act 3 cash item. Chance on hit to charm enemies. While charmed, the enemies take 35% more damage. You could also use like lightning immunity there, but you know, for trials, more damage. Great stuff. Great stuff. Alright, so skills right here. Shield Glare, Divine Verdict. And this is the one I was just talking about. It's the blind with the shield that, you know, makes it a 360. Blinded enemies take 20% more damage for 4 seconds. Blinds all enemies up to 30 yards in front of you or now around you for 4 seconds. So great stuff. Good CC. Helps you stay alive. Helps your group do more damage. Judgment Resolved. Pass judgment on all enemies within 20 yards of the target location, immobilizing them in place for 6 seconds. So now they can't move around. You could pull them in. They get stuck on top of each other. You blind them. And also, damage dealt to judged enemies has a 20% increased chance to be critically hit, like the one, you know, just reading it before. So you got those two, which are great. I'm gonna skip this one for a second. Condemn Vacuum. Now, this is not really meant for damage or anything, but you just kind of spam it, and it's gonna pull mobs into you. So you just keep spamming it and spamming it. We got Laws of Valor Critical. Alright, so this is the one that's going to give your group 15 attack speed, 100% critical hit damage, more importantly. And yeah, you're going to want to keep that up all the time. And we got Akarat's Champion. Embodiment of Power. So, Wrath regen. Your Wrath is pretty much never going to run out. So now for our passives, we got Feather, which is another cooldown reduction when you're wearing a one-hander, which you will be. Indestructible, in case you die, you won't. So right here, when you receive fatal damage, you instead become immune and gain 35% increased damage and gain 107k life per kill for 5 seconds. can occur once every 60 seconds. Long Arm of the Law. This is just going to make your Laws of Valor or your 100% critical damage buff last 5 more seconds to get that 100% uptime. And then Towering Shield. The first part doesn't matter, but reduce the cooldown of shield glare by 30 seconds. Now you could see how often I could get this shield glare off. I could get it off more often than the 4 seconds it lasts for, which is great. And it can be useful, you know, don't think that's useless, because mobs spawn in trials one by one, so you might have to stun the first few, and then a few more will come out and they're running at you, and you can stun them again and again and again, and it's pretty great. Oh, you know what? I did mess up one thing. I am totally sorry. Holy shit. Akrot's Champion. This is the wrong rune, because you don't even use Wrath in this build. What you could use is Prophet. I'm sorry, guys. Man, I wish I could edit that out. You know what? I'll just put an annotation. I'm sorry, it just slipped my mind. It just slipped my mind because I had Akrot's Champion, the other one on when I was playing the actual DPS Condemned build, and then I just switched back over and I forgot to change my Akrot's Champion rune. I knew something was wrong there when I was reading it. I apologize, guys. You can make fun of me in the comments. Alright, so this is what your skills should look like. Alright. There it is. So let's go check out the clips that I have. Alright, there you go. So right here, as you can see, on my ZDPS Crusader, we have a ZDPS Witch Doctor and 2 Demon Hunters. Also, Philos was with me when we were farming these keys. He was helping me out. He's another streamer and YouTuber. If you guys want to check him out for Demon Hunter stuff, he's really great. I'll also leave an annotation. So yeah, it's pretty standard. You just really spam everything over here. Oh wow, I failed again. Let's pause this for just a second. Let's pause this for just a second and go back into Diablo. Alright, we didn't talk about Steed Charge. I am messing up all over the place here today. Now we got an airplane too, yay. Alright, so Steed Charge, Draw, and Quarter. Alright, so this is another pull. This one's really nice because you hit it and it'll instantly grab like 5 mobs around you, and if there are mobs off to the side that are like kind of straying, or they're ranged mobs and they're not grouped up, because grouping up mobs is really important here. You have to group them up. So Steed Charge is great, but you could, why I saved this one for last is you could also use Iron Skin. Iron Skin is definitely really good. Steel Skin is good, increased duration to 7 seconds, or you might not need it. I mean, I don't think there's really too much else. Yeah, there's really not too much else that you'd want in a build like this. Movement speed, Iron Skin, Flash, that one looks nice, but Steel Skin is what I usually go with. But yeah, Steed Charge, Draw, and Quarter. That was the last skill. Alright, now that I'm done messing up, let's go watch that clip. And what we were doing here was we were trying to farm Greater Rift 52 keys, because that's what I was currently pushing on Era 2. I previously completed Greater Rift 50 for rank 4, and I know I could go higher. It's just a matter of RNG, farming a bunch of these keys and popping them over and over again until I get the right rift with the right boss, and maybe the right pylons in the right spot, and the right map level, and all those RNG factors I need to hit to get a clearable rift. So there was the Steed Charge with the pull. As you can see, that's kind of nice. So what we're doing here is we're trying to get to wave 58. So once we get to wave 58 in a 4-player group, you'll get -6, and I'll get my 52. If you're doing it solo, you get -3 and everything in between in terms of group size. So that's kind of how that works, but as you can see here, I'm just pretty much spamming everything. Now, when I need to spam my shield glare on my left click, I hold down for stand, which is normally bound to shift, but I bind it to spacebar. I find it way more comfortable. So as you can see there, I'm just kind of spamming everything as it comes up. Just keep smacking those keys. Like I said, you're not spending wrath in this build, so it doesn't really matter. And right there, I was kind of just grabbing the mobs, letting the other guys teleport to town. And there we go. A 52 key, nice and easy. Now this particular composition really has potential to get, I see people clearing like 62s and stuff, so you could go really high in terms of farming Greater Rift keys, but you can only go so far in solo. I do predict with my Barb that I will be able to get in the mid 50s. If I get lucky enough with that perfect Rift, then mid 50s is clearable. I even had a 53 run where I spawned the boss with like 7 or 8 minutes. So I just happened to get the wrong boss. I even had the power pylon next to me and everything. And it's possible. It's definitely possible. Not to mention the chance of getting conduit power next to each other and then Stone Singer as a boss. So yeah, guys. That's my video for today. Hope you found it helpful. Hopefully I didn't mess up too much. Sorry. Anyways, like, subscribe, share, comment. It'd be much appreciated, guys. See you tomorrow. Later.